Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Susan Dawn Spiritual Connections. Welcome to a brand new Sacred Union Energy update. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone who celebrates. I just want to take a moment to say how grateful and thankful I am for all of you, for this community, for your trust in me to facilitate this work that we do, for your faith in me, for the honor of being part of your journey just as much as you're a part of mine. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I know I say it all the time, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you who is here, who have been here. And I am very much looking forward to how we grow and evolve together. A couple of announcements before we get started. I have two Black Friday sales going on. The first is 25% off the limited edition hardcover of the Unity Code. It looks like this. This is the blue cover. This is the purple cover. So this is the exclusive limited edition cover of the Unity Code. It's the same book, it's the same text, it's just a different cover. So that is only available through my website, and I have a coupon code Black Friday for 25% off this weekend only. The other sale that I'm doing is I have a bunch of seasonal sales available through my shop on my website where I am clearing out my decks, some pre-owned decks. They are in great or excellent condition. They are hardly used. I just don't really use them anymore, and so I'd like them to go into good hands. So I have those available on my website as well, and as part of a Black Friday sale, you will get free shipping if you order one of those seasonal sale decks along with any of my other Susan Dawn Spiritual Connections decks or books. So if you get a Susan Dawn Spiritual Connection deck, like my Tarot and Translation deck, my Conversations with Spirit, or the Universe deck, or any of those decks, or you get one of my books, either Daybreak or the Unity Code, plus one of the seasonal sales, then you will get free shipping. So all that is available through my website. Make sure that you are checking that out, and let me know if you have any questions. Okay, how is everybody feeling? I don't quite know how I'm feeling. I'm just going to share where I'm at, and if it resonates with you, amazing, and if it doesn't, amazing still. You are exactly where you need to be. It is perfect for you. I am going into cocoon mode. I recognized that yesterday. I think it's been building up the past couple of weeks, but I realized yesterday that I'm in a little bit of a cocoon energy where I realized that I'm going into another layer and level of healing within. And remember, this journey is one of healing. It's one of remembrance. You are clearing out layers and layers and layers of soul sludge and programming. And the most important thing that we can ever do is bring it up to the surface to be acknowledged, to be recognized, so that we can shift the pattern, shift the belief, shift the program, whatever it is that is in essence holding us back from the true essence of ourselves, which is joy, love, abundance, harmony, peace, and all the energies and aspects that are connected to love. So I feel for myself like I'm going into a bit of a cocoon energy, which is quite difficult when you have a business, but I'm allowing myself to embrace that. I think for the first time in my life. Even when I was sick, I pushed forward and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, and I didn't allow myself to be taken care of either by my family or my friends or by the universe. Now, I had an incredible support system in my family and my friends, but I felt so guilty allowing myself to be taken care of, whether it was a friend that was coming over to spend some time with me when I wasn't able to leave the house, or whether it was my family who were doing chores or errands for me when I wasn't able to get out of bed. I always felt this sense of guilt for allowing myself to be taken care of. Well, now what's happening is I feel like I'm unlocking layers of that, unlocking layers of receivership. And I feel like that's what comes through with allowing yourself to embody the divine feminine energy. And as you guys know, as I have explored and explained in my sacred channelings, that we've been unlocking more of the divine feminine energy. We've been unlocking the wild or dark divine feminine energy, which is becoming unapologetically yourself, truly authentically yourself, and embracing that primal life force energy. Well, part of that, what's coming through, is receivership, allowing yourself to receive, allowing yourself to be taken care of. It's not about negating your independence. It's not about deflecting. It's about allowing yourself to receive without fear, without guilt, without a sense of burden on your own shoulders. And as many of us are, myself included, former people pleaser. It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me. As a former people pleaser, I used to sacrifice myself. I used to abandon myself and my own needs and my own desires. And so part of this integration into the dark divine feminine, into the wholeness of who is the divine feminine, is allowing myself to receive without guilt, to allow knowing too how much we give, but also allowing that to be on the opposite end received. And the divine feminine, she is an amplifier. So anything that she receives, she's able to amplify it and give back. But when you are overgiving, when you're sacrificing in that people-pleasing mode or that self-abandonment or self-neglect mode, then you just drain yourself. And that's a habit, a pattern for myself that I've lived with for decades now. And that's something that I have been shifting and clearing over these past several years. But I'm realizing that there's another layer that I'm unlocking of that. And so allowing myself to sit in the stillness, allowing myself to sit in solitude, allowing myself to just be without feeling the need to do, without feeling the need to overcompensate, without feeling the need to prove myself to anything or anyone. It's a big challenge for me, or it has been a big challenge for me, because I've been in such a different energy my whole life. That was a program and a pattern that had been running. And so allowing myself to just sit in the being, man, it's not comfortable. It is not comfortable. But that is also something that I'm learning to be with, is that discomfort. And that's also part of the healing work, allowing yourself to sit in that discomfort. When I say that I'm right along with you guys in this journey, I mean it. The only reason that I'm able to do this work and facilitate this work as a guide for so many others is because I have been going through it myself. It is the only way. It is the only way. It is coming from my own personal experiences and my own personal evolution that I'm able to facilitate that for others and be a guide for others. It's because I've been there and I know the way. I've been watching The West Wing a lot lately. It is one of my comfort shows. I've watched it in its entirety maybe 5 times over the past decade or so. And there's a quote that I have mentioned quite a few times on this channel, and I'm going to share it again. It's a quote between two characters, a conversation between two characters, and one of the characters is experiencing post-traumatic stress disorder, and his boss comes up to him and he says, how you're doing and stuff like that. And he says, let me tell you a little bit of a story. So he says this guy's walking down the street and he falls into a hole. And the walls are so steep that he can't get out. A doctor passes by and the guy shouts, hey you, can you help me out here? And the doctor writes a prescription and throws it down in the hole. Then a priest comes along and the guy shouts up, hey, I'm down in this hole, please help me out. And the priest writes down a prayer and throws it down into the hole and then moves on. And then a friend walks by and the guy says, hey, I'm down here, can you help me out? And the friend jumps in the hole with him. And the guy says, are you crazy? Now we're both down here. And the friend says, yeah, but I've been down here before and I know the way out. That is such a remarkable analogy of our journey as a whole and how we're meant to be guides for each other, and how I've been talking about this for a couple of weeks now, how we're not meant to put anybody above ourselves and not to put ourselves above anybody else, that we are truly all in this together. Now we might be at different places or different phases of our journey, and that's where we have mentors and guides and healers who help facilitate our journey, who help guide our journey, who help us navigate our path. But we learn from each other. We're all learning from each other because we're all reflections of each other in some way, shape, or form. And so that's where the energy exchange comes in. However, when you are in a place where you are overgiving and over-sacrificing and people-pleasing, then what can happen is you can drain your energy, and it's time to fill yourself back up. Sometimes you have to allow yourself to receive in order to be in that place of overflow, in order to allow yourself to keep giving. So I feel like for myself, and I know for others who are at this stage in their journey, it's about doing the fine-tuning, the tweaking, the adjusting. You have so many resources, so many tools now for your sacred union journey. Not just your sacred union journey, but your sacred union path of ascension. It's the ascension journey as a whole. Sacred union is just one path to it. And so you have so many tools and so many resources at your disposal now. That's what your journey thus far has brought you. It's brought you a sense of self-mastery. And so now it's just some fine-tuning. Now it's just some tweaking, some adjustments. It's going deeper into the layers. Our journey isn't linear. It's not a progression. It is a spiral where you go deeper and deeper and deeper into the core of yourself, deeper and deeper and deeper into understanding of your soul's truth. And so I feel like now, for myself at the very least, it's just I'm going deeper. I'm going deeper. And there was a time, especially over the summer, where I was just feeling so at peace and joyful. That's still my baseline now, which is incredible because I never thought that I could get there. Do you guys see this? Do you guys see that flame? Jesus. I feel like that's the divine feminine right there, like burning so brightly, but almost like at risk of burning out. And you don't want to get to that point where you're at risk of burning out. You want that flame to be steady. You want that flame to be stable. You want that flame to be very balanced. And so that's where you have to balance within yourself. That's just where some tweaking and fine-tuning might be. And so I feel like my baseline has been this sense of peace and joy, unlike anything I've ever felt in my life. I have felt more myself. I have felt more in my authenticity. I've just felt more myself than I've ever been, and loving myself unconditionally than I've ever been. But there's just some little tweaking, just some little fine-tuning, just some little adjustments with regards to old habits or old programs or old patterns or beliefs that might still be playing out. It's like I use this with my clients, it's like a computer program. For example, a laptop. You might have programs that are running in the foreground that you're aware of, but there might still be some programs in the background that are still running that you're not aware of. So that's what it is. You're just bringing those unaware programs to the forefront and doing some tweaking and doing some clearing work. And it's not about putting patches on it, not about putting band-aids on it. That's what I've been talking about as well in our sacred channelings, is it's about allowing yourself to go deep. It's about not being afraid to go into the depth, not being afraid to really explore and excavate anything that might be holding you back, any of that healing, any of those triggers that you feel. The triggers are opportunities. The triggers are just holes where you're meant to be showing yourself more love. What are those triggers trying to show you? The triggers are just data points. And so those data points are opportunities for you to grow, to expand, to heal, to clear, to remember more of who you are. For myself, I'm going back into a little bit of a cocoon. I don't know how long that's going to be. I'll still be, here doing work. It might be a little bit pulled back, a little bit slower. I'm gonna just listen to my intuition and see where I'm guided to go and see what I'm guided to do. But again, it's a very different way of working for me. It's a very different way of being for me. Rather than doing and doing so much, it's pulling back. And I got to tell you, it feels very uncomfortable because I'm not used to doing that. But we'll see what comes from it. I do intend on having the year ahead readings begin booking in December. So make sure that you're signed up for my newsletter for news about when those go online for booking. They will be coming very shortly. But yeah, cocoon. Very much in a cocoon right now. We'll see. I mean, 'tis the season for it too, but we'll see. Oh, very interesting. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. And let me know in the comments if that's resonating for you guys. If you guys are feeling the same. If you guys are feeling like you're going into a cocoon mode. It doesn't feel like hermit mode. It really feels safe, secure, and warm. It feels like a cocoon. Like I said, I'm just allowing myself to be and take care of myself, doing some writing, embracing more creativity, allowing myself to read, allowing myself to watch some TV shows, just allowing myself to be rather than constantly feel like like I need to be doing, constantly feel like I need to be offering, constantly feel like I need to be working. It's a very strange energy. Just strange because it's new. It's something that's new. Yeah, I have to sit with that a bit. So let me know in the comments if that's resonating for you, and if you're feeling a little bit of the same, or even if you're not, let me know where you guys are. If you let me know where you guys are, that allows me to kind of focus the readings a little bit more. Let me know where you are in your journey, what you want readings on. That way we can do more readings based on your energy, your path, where you are on the journey, more focused readings for that. Okay, so let's take a look. I'm using the unicorn deck today. I'm not quite sure. You know what? No, I'm going to do something completely different. I'm going to use the chakra oracle deck. I usually use this with my clients as a baseline for new clients, for new client readings. I use this as a baseline to kind of get to know my clients and get to know my new clients' energies. But I kind of want to use this today and see where the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine are with regards to their energy as a whole. So let's take a look for the Divine Masculine. Ooh, wow. I'm actually going to take these all of these. Okay, interesting. Interesting that we have chakras that are closely connected to the feminine energy. We have emotional balance, dreams, and self-expression. Let me go ahead and get cards for the Divine Feminine. What do we need to know for the Divine Feminine? What do we need to know for the Divine Feminine? What's the energy for the Divine Feminine? Let's get another card here. Okay, I'm going to take just the one, and we will dig a little bit deeper with the tarot. So I actually want to start with the Divine Masculine here. Interesting that we have emotional balance, self-expression, and dreams. I'm going to start with the dream card. I feel like this Divine Masculine is very much connecting to their feminine energy. That could also be connecting to you, Divine Feminine. But it's their feminine energy as a whole. Now, remember, Divine Feminine, when they're connecting with their feminine energy, they are in essence connecting with you. They might not be aware of that, but they are in essence connecting with you because you are their feminine energy pushed out into another physical being. Just like when you're healing your masculine energy and connecting with your masculine, your inner masculine, that is your counterpart as well. Remember, when it comes to these twin flame connections, sacred partners, soulmates, whatever it is that you want to call it, everybody's a reflection of us. So especially for twin flames, you are the masculine and the feminine in two physical bodies as one soul. And so as you're working through your masculine or your feminine energies, that's going to be within your masculine counterpart or your feminine counterpart. So with regards to dreams, I feel like they're connecting with their feminine energy, but they could also be connecting with you, Divine Feminine, as you as a person in dream state. You could be having dreams about each other. They could be having dreams about you. There could be a lot of telepathy that's occurring, a lot of energetic activations is the phrase that I'm hearing. A lot of energetic activations that are happening. I feel like this Divine Masculine is experiencing what you have experienced in the past when you were activated to your ascension journey. You were seeing the signs, you were seeing the synchronicities, you were seeing their initials, maybe on license plates, you were seeing certain numbers. I feel like that's what's happening for the Divine Masculine. I'm almost feeling this energy of, I can't escape you. That's what this feels like. But what's interesting about this energy, I can't escape you, is where they had tried to run from this connection in the past, where they had tried to escape this connection in the past, I feel like they have more of a sense of balance within themselves. And that comes from healing. That comes from this transformation that they've been going through. And I'm not going to refer to past energy updates. I'm not gonna go back and go deep into past energy updates, but all of these energy updates piggyback on each other. So check back on the Sacred Union energy updates from the past couple of weeks, the past couple of months, because this is all going to be a progression. This is all going to be part of the process for this Divine Masculine that we're channeling here. So I feel like Divine Feminine, where you had experienced this when you were activated to your ascension by meeting or reconnecting with your counterpart, you experienced this massive energy activation. You experienced signs, synchronicities, a lot of phenomena. You were having dreams. You were activated. Like your kundalini was activated. Maybe your gifts, your psychic gifts, intuitive gifts were activated. So you were seeing signs, you were seeing symbols, you were experiencing so much phenomena. I feel like the divine masculine, they've experienced that too, but they, in their resistance, ran away from that. Now, I go deep into my book as to why they run away from that and what's actually happening between the counterparts. Because you can look at it as a runner chaser dynamic. You can look at it as the masculine is running away from you, divine feminine. But what's actually happening is there's a space that is holding. The divine feminine has to experience their ascension first in order for the energies to balance out, in order for the polarities to harmonize. And the masculine is actually holding space for you, divine feminine. So you can check out the Unity Code book for more about that. But I feel like now, because the masculine has been going through their own ascension process and the feminine has been holding space for the masculine in their ascension process, now the masculine is experiencing those signs and synchronicities that they might have run from in the past, but now they are almost like embracing. There's a sense of comfort that's coming through here, especially if you are in some kind of separation. And this could be energetic separation, this could be a physical separation where there's no contact or no communication. But I feel like it's more along the lines of you're not quite in that harmony, you're not quite in that balance, whatever that, wherever you are, even if you are communicating and connecting with each other, it's not quite in that harmonized union, that sustained union energy yet. And so wherever you are in the path, I feel like the masculine is taking comfort in whatever it is that they're experiencing, because they take comfort in you, divine feminine. You are a sense of light for them. You are love. You are the embodiment of unconditional love. And in the past, they didn't understand that. In the past, it scared them, it startled them. And so they ran away from it. They weren't used to that for a number of reasons. Number one, because of their own shadows, their own healing that they had to do, their own upbringing, patterns and programs and beliefs that they held, because of their experiences that they had with love in the past, whether it was relationships or family or anything else. It was separation that was a belief that was held within them. And so that separation energy within them continued to create separation within the connection. Now you experience the same thing. So we're not putting that on the masculine. You can't look at the masculine as something singular, especially in a twin flame connection. You are two parts to one whole. And on the higher perspective, on the highest level, you're actually doing this together. You're going through this process together. And so it's about changing your perspective, shifting that perspective from saying, oh, it's my divine masculine that's doing this, and saying, okay, we are doing this together. Where do I need to shift? Where do I need to heal within myself? Where do I need to grow and expand? What beliefs am I holding on to that is having an impact on the connection? So for the divine masculine's part, I feel like they are recognizing the connection, recognizing you, divine feminine, or at the very least, recognizing the feminine energy within themselves. And the signs, synchronicities, maybe they're hearing your name, maybe they're hearing songs, maybe they're, having memories or having dreams about you. It's a sense of comfort for them. It's not a resistance anymore. It's not painful for them anymore because of the healing process that they've been going through. This emotional balance and self-expression is both energies that are indicating healing, growth, and transformation. If this was in the beginning of their journey, for example, they might have been emotionally unbalanced, and that might have shown itself as emotionally unavailable or avoidant and unable to express themselves. That was the mask that they wore. That was the facade that they were under. That was hiding from themselves. They weren't able to be their true self. They weren't able to allow their soul to be seen because there was something that was very frightening about that. There was something that was holding them back. And again, beliefs, trauma, pain, patterns, programs, experiences that they've had all contribute. That all contributes to like that distorted, unhealed lens, like unconscious aspects, the shadow aspects. But because this masculine has been going through this rebirth, this transformation, and this growth process, they have been healing and little by little allowing themselves to get to know themselves. And so by getting to know themselves, they're letting the mask kind of fall, letting the facade fall. Your ascension journey is your connection to yourself, your connection to your soul. Know thyself. The Oracle of Delphi is a phrase that we've been channeling for years. That is the crux of your ascension journey, to know yourself on a soul level. The more you know yourself, the deeper you know yourself, the more you connect to yourself, the more you are coming home to that soul aspect of yourself. That is what your ascension journey is all about. And so that's what's happening for the divine masculine. I like the words here: stability, harmony, peace, fluidity. They are not fearful of their emotions anymore, where they might have guarded their heart, cut off their emotions, cut off their heart. We had once channeled a visual of, it was like the heart was encased in a block of ice, and meeting the divine feminine started to melt that block of ice, but it was still solid. It was still there, little by little, chipping away. That was one of the sacred union energy updates that we have talked about just in recent weeks, chipping away at the blocks, chipping away at those old beliefs and those old patterns, those old shadows. And so what's happening is now, look at that, you have this beautiful full cup. And also divine feminine, that's why it's so important for you to continue to fill up within yourself and not drain your own energy. That's why it's so important for you to receive, because again, you are an amplifier of energy. You are an amplifier of love. And so the divine masculine, as he is being able to give that love, feeling more and more comfortable to express himself in that love, the more you're going to be able to allow yourself to receive it without draining your energy, because you're no longer people-pleasing or self-abandoning or neglecting. So again, I feel like there is a huge shift that has been occurring for these divine counterparts, for the divine masculine especially. And if you are in some kind of perceived separation, keep shifting your mindset around what separation is. Separation is an illusion. You are never separate from your counterpart, not truly, not energetically. There might be some things to work through, like some attachment to work through with regards to communication and contact and conversations, etc., or not being in communication or contact. But energetically, you are never separate from your counterpart, ever. You always are and always have been in union. Remember that. Remember union. We did a sacred channeling that's available in our Ascension Connections portal for free called Remember Union. Remember union. Remember what union is. You are and always have been in union. You can check out the Unity Code book for much more about that. Intelligence for the divine feminine. What I really like about this is, number one, you see the candle there. Don't let that flame burn out, and you allow it to continue to burn by the more that you fuel yourself. I like that the books are here, because this feels like going back to the basics, and that's essentially what I've been doing, is going back to the basics of my journey. I have the tools and I have the resources, and so it's about continuing to put it into practice, continuing to go back to the basics of everything that I've learned and going deeper with that, going deeper with my practice, going deeper with my studies, going deeper with myself. And so, divine feminine, that's how you grow. That's how you expand, by allowing yourself to go deeper, by not just sitting at the plateau of where you think you are, not just saying, oh, I'm healed, I've done this, I'm healed, it's time for my counterpart. Like, your growth is going to continue. Your expansion is going to continue. Your healing work is going to continue. And so allowing yourself to go deeper, allowing yourself to continue to enrich yourself with your studies, your spiritual practice, with even your connection with yourself. Keep unlocking and moving deeper into whatever it is that life is showing you, whatever it is that's coming up, whatever it is, even if it's minor triggers. You know, I've said this before and I'll say it again. It's very easy to be a spiritual person when you are meditating in the woods, or when you're at your altar, or when you're in seclusion and isolation. It's very easy. But spirituality is not about being in isolation. It's not about being in seclusion. Spirituality is a practice, and it's meant to be a spiritual practice. And it's about how are you actually putting all of those teachings into practice. So when you are out in the world, among crowds, among strangers, among family and friends, those intimate connections that are going to have a huge impact on you. When you're among family and friends, because they know you so well and have known you for lifetimes perhaps, or even just for the longevity of this lifetime, they're going to know different versions of you. They might not know or relate to the version of you that you've become through your ascension journey. But how can you maintain that self-mastery in the face of those triggers, in the face of those most intimate connections? Who are you? And how are you putting into practice those spiritual truths? It's not just about having an intellectual understanding of spiritual concepts and spiritual truths, but it's about putting it into practice. And so that's sometimes why it's necessary to go back to the basics. Where are you neglecting yourself? Where are you abandoning yourself? Where do you need to connect deeper with yourself? Where do you need to grow, expand? Where do you need to just go deeper? Your ascension journey is all about the depth and not being afraid to face that depth. In the Yeshua and the Open Door channeling, I talked a lot about the Dark Divine Feminine as a foundation for more channelings to come. About how the Dark Divine Feminine is all about not being afraid of that dark. The dark is not a negative aspect. In fact, the dark is inclusive of everything. If you look at what a black hole is, for example, a black hole is everything. If you look at the color black, the black is not the absence of color. Black is all colors. So the dark is everything. And the dark balances the light. And not only as a masculine and feminine twin flames, you are the balance of the yin and the yang, the black and the white, the dark and the light, but also within you, divine feminine. You are all aspects. You are everything. And so for myself, as over the past 2 years, that dark divine feminine has been activated and initiated, and I've been integrating it, these past several weeks, I really began to embody that dark divine feminine energy and what it means for me. And I began to realize that I had been previously afraid to go into that depth of myself. And this is coming from somebody who has never shied away from depth. You know, when it comes to my novels, I've never shied away from going deep because my novels are an aspect of myself as well. I put my heart and my soul into all of my work. And with my novels, I'm literally spilling my heart and my soul onto the page. So I've never been afraid of depth in my conversations with strangers, with friends, with family, in my work with one-on-one clients, even in my work here in public. You guys know my channel, I have shared much of my own journey. I've never been afraid to go deep. Well, over the past couple of weeks, I have realized that there's even more, that there's more depth, that there's even more to go, deeper to go. And that in some respects, I had almost been afraid to acknowledge that. Because what does that mean? What does it truly mean to embrace my own dark divine feminine? What does it truly mean to be unapologetically myself? As authentic as I have always been, as in my integrity as I've always been, what does it truly mean to be diving into the absolute core of myself without fear? And so that's exactly what I've been doing. And, you know, it can feel a little bit isolating. It can feel a little bit lonely because there will be people who don't understand that or who are not ready for that aspect of me. But what I've come to learn is that I'm ready for that aspect of me. And so that's also an open invitation for anybody to either join me in that aspect of me or for me to meet, because people are going to be reflective of that aspect of me. And I'm using myself as an example, but relate to that as you will, resonate with that as you will. So, for example, you will be shifting into new versions of yourself along your journey. And we've all experienced this. You will have people who might fade away from that experience for whatever reason. Sometimes your light shines on their shadow and they're not ready for that. They're not capable of that, of holding space for that. And so it's just an energetic match. It's just an energetic vibration, an energetic alignment. And sometimes while you might have aligned with people in the past up to a certain place, they might not be aligned with you going forward. And it doesn't mean that you're going to lose people. It doesn't mean, it's not a loss. It's just an alignment. And so that's something that we have to understand too. It's not a loss. You're grateful for the experiences that you had with people, friends, family, connections, relationships. You're grateful for the experiences that you had, but don't look at it as a loss. Look at it as a blessing for the journey that they've brought you on, for what they've shown you about yourself. And now you're ready for that next level. And people will either come with you, or people will circle back around to you, or you will meet new people. And Mercury retrograde, we're in Mercury retrograde right now. It's the last one of the year. And so Mercury retrograde is really going to show you that reflection. They're going to show you where you are, and you might have people coming back around, and they might come back around in alignment, or they might come back around to show you where you are in your journey, and that's not aligned with them. But they're showing you, everybody's going to show you something about yourself. Everybody, every situation, every experience is a reflection of you and your journey. And so it's about shifting our perspective to understand that, allowing ourselves to expand in that awareness of that reflection. Divine Feminines, don't be afraid to go deeper. All right, let's get some cards. All right, that's strange. I'm getting drawn to this French deck. It's called the Lumina Tarot. That's what it looks like. I like to support indie authors and indie creators, and this is an indie deck from an indie creator. And I accidentally got the French edition, so it's in French, but that's okay. Because I speak French and I love French. All right, let's see what's going on. I'm going to stick with the Divine Feminines for a second here. Yeah. The King of Wands. Or is that the Knight of Wands? This is the problem with French. And Temperance. Yeah, okay. So I feel like this is the Knight of Wands and the Temperance. Yeah, this is Knight and this is Temperance. So I feel like Divine Feminines, you are balancing some aspects of yourself out. I'm also hearing you're balancing the fire out. So remember, okay, this is interesting. When I hit record, everything that I share is something that I'm meant to share. It's something that I am channeling, even my own experiences. So when I share that I'm going into cocoon, that I am filling up my cup again, necessarily, that I am going deeper into myself and some healing, doing some adjustments and some tweaking, that's this energy here. That's what we're talking about here. And even the part where we were talking about the flame, not letting the flame burn out or get so bright that it burns out. That's not to say that you dim your light. You do not dim your light for anything or anyone. But you also don't be in an energy of overgiving, sacrificing yourself, neglecting yourself, or abandoning yourself. It's like if the thread of a fire can burn out if it's too much, and if you're not nurturing it. That's what the Temperance card and the Knight of Wands is saying. You have to nurture that fire. You have to nurture that energy, and that comes into being. So, for example, this is the wild feminine, the dark feminine. If a flame, for example, is burning too brightly, and I don't want to say it like that, but I don't know how else to say it. Like I said, don't dim your light for anything or anyone, but it's about the balance. The fire, the flame can get away from you, right? That's what a wildfire is. It gets away from us. It can create destruction. It can create devastation. It can create a lot of chaos. That's the wildfire energy. You have to allow ourselves or go through our journey so that we know or learn how to balance that out. We know how to temper the flame. Tempering the flame is not burning the flame out. There's two ends of the spectrum. One is the wildfire. The other is where it's just a spark. It's just an ember. There's no flame there. You want this balance. You want this balance of a gentle flame, because that is the balance within yourself. The flame is still burning, but it's not overwhelming. The flame is still burning, but it's not put out to such a degree that it's just a light ember. You want to be nurturing the flame in that balance, in a healthy way. You see how the flame is burning? It's bright, it's solid, it's stable. It's not that firecrackery energy that we were getting before. This is tempered. This is balanced. So with the Knight of Wands here, the Knight of Wands is an energy that can be very brazen, can be very brash, can be even reckless. And it's a fire energy, and that fire energy can create destruction within your own life. Well, how do you do that? It doesn't have to be chaos. It can be where you are neglecting yourself. It can be where you are abandoning yourself, where you're giving so much of yourself and so much of that fire over to other people that you are burning yourself out. That's where spiritual boundaries come into play. And I know I've been talking about my Mastering Spiritual Boundaries workshop for a while now. The replay package is available. It's because boundaries are going to be the most important thing you can ever learn on your spiritual journey. boundaries when it comes to your energy and energy management and protection, boundaries when it comes to your personal life, and boundaries when it comes to other people and honoring other people's boundaries. So if we did a fantastic channeling on that, all three energies of that, in the Mastering Spiritual Boundaries workshop, the replay package, plus a lot of other additional goodies, including a meditation and transmission with Green Tara and Saint Germain, are available in the replay package. But that's why boundaries are important, because boundaries they're not guards, they're not walls. They're actually invitations for you to create a sense of balance within yourself. And when you have that sense of balance within yourself, when your energy is in that place of balance, then you're able to be in the energy of unconditional love. You're able to be in that energy of overflow, especially as a divine feminine, because you're not draining your energy. You're not leaking your energy. You're in that state of balance. Let's see if there's anything else for the divine feminine. Knight of Pentacles, yeah. It's not about rushing with the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands, again, can be reckless, brash, brazen, in a rush, going all in. The Knight of Pentacles is a balanced energy. The Knight of Pentacles is take it step by step. Don't rush anything. Don't rush yourself. Be. It's not about the doing. It's about the being. We did a channeling that they're calling me to called Be Still and Know. I'll try to remember to put a link in the description box. Be still and know. And this Be Still and Know energy is all about connecting with yourself. And that's who the divine feminine is. She has an innate connection to herself and God's source, to the spiritual realm. So the divine feminine is the spiritual energy. And so it's about connecting with your intuitive truth, connecting with yourself, and not seeking outside of yourself. Especially around the holidays, for example, we can get so caught up in the rush of our society. And it's about taking a step back and coming into balance with ourselves and our own intuition, our own speed of life. Not allowing ourselves to get caught up in what we think we should be doing, but about in who we are. For myself, I go through these cycles where I will just give my all to my work, and then I'll get burned out and I'll get drained. And so over the past several years, I've really been acknowledging that and become cognizant of that. And so I've been shifting the patterns. And I realized recently that I was still caught up in an energy of doing, still caught up in an energy of pushing. And so that's where I'm allowing myself to be in my receivership. That's where I'm allowing myself to take a step back and just be, and not feel guilty for just being. Be still and know. Be still and tune into yourself, because that's what fills you up. Especially as a divine feminine, your intuition, your connection to yourself is what fills you up. So take your time, balance this energy out. And I like how the Temperance card is between the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. It's not saying dim your fire. It's not saying don't pursue your passions. It's not saying don't let that fire be ablaze at times. That's what motivation is. That's what inspiration is. But balance that out with that earthy energy. Balance that out. Ground that energy so that it doesn't become an overwhelming wildfire, and the wildfire doesn't go out, right? So you don't burn yourself out. So it doesn't feel chaotic and overwhelming, not the other end of the spectrum, so it doesn't drain you completely and burn out completely. Balance here, divine feminines. Go back to the basics. Back to the basics. And I'm just going to say here that we have a ton of free resources available in our Ascension Connections portal for navigating the journey. Let's see what's going on for the Divine Masculine. What's going on for the Divine Masculine? Divine Masculine. The Seven of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles. I am not surprised to see the Ten of Pentacles here. I was going to say the Two of Cups, and look, here it is at the bottom of the deck, the Two of Cups. There is a very lovey energy coming from the masculine. I don't know what shifted here, but there's a very lovey energy coming from the Divine Masculine. They are waking up to themselves, which means that they are waking up to connection. desire for connection, desire for companionship. And it's not desire for companionship in like a distorted masculine way, in like a patriarchal way. This is a desire for true companionship, true partnership that they have seen in you, divine feminine. This is a working together that they have not experienced in the past. A creation together that they have not experienced in the past with other relationships. You are their true divine equal. You are the queen to their king. And it's really important because in our society, we look at the king as ruling over the queen. When actually, if you look at history, queens have been supportive of their kings, yes, but also the king has looked to the queen for her guidance and her wisdom. We're going to be channeling some more with regards to the Camelot series. You can check out that channeling either on my YouTube channel or in the Ascension Connections portal. We have a series on Camelot. We've been channeling a lot with regards to King Arthur and Queen Guinevere being the sacred partners, being those twin flames. And so with King Arthur, for example, as the divine masculine archetype, and Queen Guinevere being the feminine archetype, the divine feminine archetype, I should say, King Arthur was a leader, but he also listened to the guidance and the wisdom of Queen Guinevere. He was a leader by example. He wasn't one who ruled just from the throne, but he actually went out into his community. So they're also giving me the energy of Merlin. So Merlin was also one of his guides. As an ascended master himself, Merlin was also his guide. So it wasn't that King Arthur needed to do everything himself. He had his Knights of the Round Table that he communicated with. The Knights of the Round Table were his brothers at arms, is what I'm hearing the phrase. They were his brothers. They were those that he trusted to bear witness to the work. Give me a second. It's very interesting what's coming in. Give me a second. We're going to definitely channel more on this later, but I just want to share what I'm getting right now. If we look at Yeshua as an archetype, King Arthur can be that Yeshua archetype, wherein his Knights of the Round Table were almost like the apostles, spreading the message, spreading the word, defending the kingdom, that kind of thing, right? That's the energy that I'm getting. Yeshua wasn't on his own. He also had Mary Magdalene with him, not only as a support, but as her own divine energy herself, her own connected energy herself. We did the channeling into the heart with Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, and I kept getting the phrase Mary on the Mount. And I thought that was in reference to Mother Mary until I began channeling and realized that no, that was actually Mary Magdalene, that she was on the mountain with Yeshua as he was giving his Sermon on the Mount, that she stood beside him, not just in silent support of him, but with her own wisdom, with her own messages, with her own teachings, that they were in partnership together in their teachings. That's what the sacred union is. It's not one above the other. It's working in that harmony together, partnership together. And I think that in this patriarchy, we don't quite understand that. We've been so conditioned to not understand that. We always look as one above the other. So getting back to the example of King Arthur and Queen Guinevere, or the king and the queen as a whole, it's not about the king over the queen or the queen beneath the king. It is understanding that they work together in order to rule. I don't like the word rule, but in order to share their messages, in order to lead, in order to lead their kingdom. That's what this energy feels like. So I feel like what's happening is the divine masculine is recognizing the divine feminine. I feel like he is recognizing that oneness, and you have the infinity sign being shown here. See that? The same thing with the Two of Cups. That's the infinite love. That's the infinite connection that you share with each other. Now, with the Seven of Cups is an energy of options. It's an energy of choices. And I feel like they are still in a little bit of an energy of trying to figure out the way to go. Which way do I move? Which path do I take? there's still some energy here about, like, they're getting a lot of energy, they're getting a lot of messages, but I feel like they're not quite, they haven't quite grounded that or embodied that yet. They're still trying to figure out strategically how to move forward in their life, in the connection. It could resonate with everybody in a little bit of a different way, but there's still some questioning that's going on. I feel like they've existed in one paradigm for so long that they're not quite sure how to move forward. For others, bringing this to the 3D and 3D situations, for others, I feel like maybe your relationship has existed in one state for so long. Perhaps it was like friends for so long, or you were coworkers for so long, that they don't know how to shift out of that. They don't know how to make your connection more intimate, or to grow in that intimacy. And remember, intimacy, we're talking about emotional intimacy, because this is a soul connection. Not knowing how to go deeper. Oh, you're mirroring each other. Interesting. They don't know how to go deeper in your connection. You're going deeper within yourself, Divine Feminine. The more you go deeper within yourself and continue to expand, the more the masculine is going to reflect that. Very interesting. So yeah, they're just trying to figure out how to shift the energy of the connection. Very interesting. Beautiful. Six of Pentacles. No, this is 10 of Pentacles. The bottom of the deck. What was that? Oh, that was 2 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles. This is why I do speak French, I swear. 10 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. And isn't that interesting that I said 10 of Pentacles here? Isn't that interesting? Because then we have the 10 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So again, I do feel like there is this desire. There is this desire for connection. There's desire to have everything. And I feel like putting this in the union spot, I feel like this is what both of you are creating within yourselves. Coming back to the 2 of Pentacles, you guys are mirroring this too. Temperance. Temperance is all about balance. 2 of Pentacles is all about balance. Again, you have the infinity sign, the harmony, giving and receiving. And this is what happens with the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine. The masculine energy gives, the feminine energy receives what the masculine gives, and then amplifies that and gives it back. And so then the masculine receives and feels like he has more to offer, and so he gives more. Divine Feminine receives and then amplifies that and gives. But if you, Divine Feminine, are in a place where you are sacrificing yourself, that's where boundaries are so important again. If you're sacrificing yourself, if you're overgiving, then you're cutting off this flow of energy. And this is even within yourself. Your inner masculine, your inner feminine, you're cutting off that flow of energy, being able to give to yourself or being able to receive from others. You're cutting off that flow of energy because you're just draining your energy. You're not in overflow. You're not able to amplify that, because you're not allowing yourself to receive. So there's nothing to amplify if you're not allowing yourself to receive. You see how important that is? So there's a beautiful mirroring that's going on here. So do take these readings for your inner masculine and feminine, because as you take these readings for your inner masculine and feminine, you heal and you grow and you expand, and that has an impact on your relationship with your physical counterpart, because your physical counterpart is you. We can't emphasize that enough. Your physical counterpart is you, just in another body. So the more you're healing your inner energy, the more that's going to be reflected in your counterpart and your connection. Okay? All right. Anything else that we need to know? I feel like there might be a little bit more. Anything else we need to know for this connection? Anything else we need to know for this connection? It's too much. Anything else we need to know for this connection? We have the 9 of Pentacles. Yeah. And the Strength card. We have the Fool at the bottom of the deck as well. So the 9 of Pentacles, what I like about this is very grounded energy. The 9 of Pentacles is, oh, I really like this imagery. So you have the flower here that's blooming, right? And the roots are very secure. This is the masculine and the feminine. This is the feminine energy that is connected spiritually, connected energetically. This is the masculine that is grounded in that physical presence. The masculine is a very physical energy, very active energy. He is the grounded presence. And so I like this. This is the oneness. This is the harmony. You even have the seed of life, flower of life behind us. This is the oneness. So in the union energy, I feel like it's about shifting your perspective to recognize that you are one. You're one. What's happened is you have kind of cut yourself off from your masculine or your feminine. And again, it's within you. That's why you have to heal both the masculine and the feminine within you. That's where your inner union is. And the more that your inner union is created and sustained, and that's by doing the inner work. You can't bypass any of the work. By doing that inner work, what happens is you recognize the full form. You recognize the fullness, the wholeness, that you have the roots and you have the bloom. That's the oneness. That's your union. And with the strength card and the fool card, I feel like this is having that strength, that courage to allow for new versions of you, allowing yourself to go deep, allowing for the rebirth and the transformation, allowing for new perspectives, allowing for the new version of you to come through, to take root, allowing for the union. Okay? All right, that's going to be it. Please do drop a line in the comments and let me know how this is resonating. And we'll be back sometime in the next couple of days with another energy update and a new sacred channeling. Sending lots of love and lots of light.